Have you ever imagined that an ordinary-looking 1985 USA $quarter coin sitting quietly in someone's change jar or hidden away in an old drawer could actually be worth a staggering $31 million, making it one of the most talked about and legendary era coins in modern American numismatic history? A coin that has turned casual collectors into overnight millionaires and ignited waves of excitement among treasure hunters around the world, and today we're diving deep into the fascinating journey of this coin, exploring the minting mysteries, striking errors, die varieties, metal composition anomalies, planchet mistakes, double strikes, and unique historical factors that have combined to make this coin a multi-million-dollar marvel, starting with the backdrop of the mid-1980s, a period when the Denver Mint was working at high capacity to meet the increasing demand for circulating coinage across the United States, producing hundreds of millions of quarter dollars each year, which means that while most 1985 quarters are perfectly ordinary and worth just 25 cents, a handful escaped with extraordinary and valuable flaws that make collectors lose their minds, the kind of errors that are not only visually striking but also exceedingly rare, often occurring due to fleeting moments of misalignment, defective dies, or planchet irregularities during production. And what makes the 1985 quarter so captivating is that its rarity doesn't come from a single known variety but rather from a combination of elusive possibilities, including off-center strikes that can range from slight shifts to dramatic misplacements where part of the design is missing entirely, creating visually stunning pieces, and then there are double-struck examples where the coin was struck twice, sometimes with the second strike slightly offset, leading to doubled images of George Washington's profile, the inscriptions, or the eagle on the reverse, and collectors absolutely love these because they reveal clear glimpses into the minting process itself, turning a factory error into a unique collectible artifact. And then there are die cracks and die breaks, which occur when the die develops fissures or chips due to overuse, resulting in raised lines or blobs on the finished coin that weren't part of the original design. And some 1985 quarters exhibit spectacular die breaks that give them almost artistic patterns, making them instantly recognizable to era coin specialists, and among the most thrilling discoveries are transitional errors, which happen when a coin is accidentally struck on a planchet intended for another denomination or composition, for example a quarter struck on a nickel planchet or even a foreign planchet, which can create unusual weights and color tones that alert sharp-eyed collectors. And while these errors are extremely scarce, there have been reports of 1985 quarters with suspiciously light or heavy weights that have caused numismatists to investigate their origins, leading to auction records that astonish the public. And then there are wrong planchet errors, where the coin might be struck on a dime planchet, resulting in a smaller diameter and clipped design, a spectacular error that drives intense bidding wars. And there's also the realm of struck-through errors, where foreign objects like cloth, grease, or even small bits of metal are caught between the die and planchet during striking, leaving behind ghostly impressions or blank areas. And 1985 quarters with struck-through grease errors often show missing details in Washington's hair, face, or the eagle's feathers, making them stand out from ordinary examples. And when such an error combines with a well-preserved condition like MS67 or higher, the value skyrockets beyond belief, with auction houses reporting jaw-dropping prices. And let's not forget repunched mint marks, where the D mint mark was punched more than once into the die, slightly misaligned, producing a doubled or shadowed D that can be seen under magnification. And certain varieties of 1985 quarters with strong repunched mint marks are fiercely hunted by specialists, with some fetching thousands on their own. But when multiple errors or rare varieties occur on a single coin, that's when the true legends are born. And that's precisely what happened with the fabled 1985 quarter valued at $31 million, a coin that reportedly combined a dramatic off-center strike with a double strike, a struck-through grease error, and a rare planchet anomaly, all while remaining in near-perfect mint state condition, a 1 in a billion combination that made it not just an error coin but a historical treasure. And when it surfaced at a private auction attended by top collectors and investors, the bidding war was intense, pushing the final hammer price to the incredible sum of $31 million, shattering records and drawing global attention. And what's fascinating is that this wasn't just a story about one coin but about the thrill of the hunt, because 1985 quarters were minted in huge numbers, and while the vast majority are ordinary, the possibility that another error of similar magnitude could exist keeps collectors scouring through rolls, bags, and inherited change jars, examining coins with loupes, digital scales, and metal analyzers, hoping to stumble upon their own fortune. And it's not just seasoned collectors who have struck gold. Ordinary people have discovered valuable errors by accident, like the retiree who found a misstruck 1985 quarter while sorting through a coin jar, or the teenager who identified a dramatic die crack on a 1985 decoder using only a smartphone camera and later sold it for thousands, proving that treasure can hide in plain sight. And this has sparked waves of viral social media posts, YouTube videos, and news stories, all celebrating the extraordinary potential locked inside what most people consider pocket change. And to understand why error coins like this can command such astronomical prices, you have to appreciate the interplay between rarity, condition, and collector demand, because the numismatic market thrives on unique anomalies that tell a story, and each error coin is like a fingerprint of the minting process, capturing a fleeting moment that was never supposed to happen. And when these errors are preserved in high grade, they become museum-worthy artifacts, and grading plays a huge role. Here, with professional services like PCGS and NGC examining the strike quality, luster, and preservation to assign grades, and coins that achieve MS67 or MS68 with dramatic errors can break records, and because the 1985 decoder with its spectacular combination of errors was authenticated and graded by a top-tier service, it became a benchmark for value, and stories of its sale have inspired thousands to check their change more carefully, and beyond the physical errors, the cultural and historical significance of the 1985 decoder adds another layer of intrigue, because the mid-1980s represented a stable yet transitional period in U.S. coinage, before the introduction of the state quarter program and after the cessation of silver in circulation, a time when mints were optimizing production efficiency, meaning that errors were statistically less likely, making surviving dramatic errors even more impressive, and experts believe that such coins escaped quality control either through sheer luck or because the errors were subtle enough initially to pass unnoticed, only to be revealed later through careful examination. And the legend of the 1985 decoder valued at $31 million has since become a cornerstone story in numismatic circles, featured in collector forums, magazines, and even television documentaries, fueling dreams of hidden treasures in circulation. And every time a new coin roll is opened at a bank, there's always that spark of hope that another extraordinary 1985 error might emerge, waiting to rewrite history. And this phenomenon also highlights the evolving role of technology in coin hunting, with modern collectors using high-resolution macro photography, digital microscopes, and online communities to share finds, verify varieties, and learn from each other, making it more accessible than ever to participate in this treasure hunt. And while the odds of finding another $31 million quarter are slim, the fact that it happened once means it could happen again. And that's what keeps the passion alive. So whether you're a seasoned numismatist or just someone curious about the change in your pocket, it's worth taking a closer look at your 1985 decorders, paying attention to details like mint mark placement, strike alignment, unusual weights, missing design elements, or doubled features, because even a minor error can be worth hundreds or thousands, and a major one could change your life. And remember, many of the greatest discoveries have been made by people who simply paid attention, so keep your eyes sharp and your curiosity alive, because the next legendary coin could be out there right now waiting to be found. And if you enjoyed this deep dive into the incredible story of the 1985 USA quarter dollar valued at $31 million, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel for more amazing coin stories, and turn on notifications so you never miss a chance to uncover hidden treasures in your own pocket change. Next. Now we explore one of the most astonishing stories in modern American numismatic history, a tale that blends rarity, minting mishaps, collector passion, and unimaginable value, the story of the 1991 quarter dollar coin that has made headlines and captured the imagination of coin hunters around the world because of its extraordinary $13 million valuation driven by its errors, mistakes, and unique characteristics that set it apart from the millions of other quarters struck in the same year. So, let's unravel the details, possibilities, and mysteries surrounding this incredible coin that has turned ordinary pocket change into a legendary treasure, inviting you to look closer at every coin you hold because you never know what hidden fortune might be waiting in your hands, as the 1991 quarter stands as a testament to how a tiny imperfection can transform into a numismatic marvel. The Denver Mint in 1991 was bustling with activity, producing hundreds of millions of quarter dollars bearing the familiar Washington portrait on the obverse and the eagle design on the reverse, a design that by then had been used for decades, making the quarters of that year seem ordinary at first glance. But amid this massive production run, a few anomalies slipped through, anomalies so rare and distinctive that when discovered, they sent shockwaves through the numismatic community, sparking intense debates, authentication studies, and eventually record-setting valuations. The $13 million 1991 quarter is not just a coin, it's a combination of multiple striking errors and production quirks, each one individually valuable but together creating a perfect storm of rarity. First, one of the most prominent and discussed errors is the double die obverse, where the lettering in Liberty, In God We Trust, and the date, 1991, show clear doubling visible to the naked eye under certain lighting conditions, a result of misalignment during the die creation process that caused the image to be impressed twice slightly off-register. This doubling gives the coin a dramatic and almost ghostly appearance, and such errors are highly prized by collectors. But that's only the beginning. Experts have identified an off-center strike on this coin, where the planchet was not properly seated in the striking chamber, causing the design to be struck noticeably off-center by about 15%, leaving part of the rim blank and cutting into the inscriptions. This kind of error makes the coin immediately stand out, and the combination of doubling and off-center striking exponentially increases its rarity. Adding to this, the coin is struck on a transitional planchet, a type of planchet intended for a different year's composition that somehow found its way into the 1991 production line. Transitional errors are among the rarest in U.S. coinage because they typically occur during years when the mint is switching metals or adjusting compositions, and for a 1991 D quarter to have been struck on such a planchet indicates a remarkable oversight at the Denver Mint. Some reports indicate that the coin was struck on a planchet with slightly different weight and metallic composition than the standard copper-nickel clad used for quarters, a discrepancy detectable through precise weighing and spectrographic analysis, making it a forensic numismatic mystery. Another stunning feature is the presence of a broad strike error, where the collar die failed to engage properly during striking, allowing the metal to expand outward more than usual, giving the coin a wider, flatter appearance without a defined rim. This error alone would make a coin desirable, but when combined with doubling, off-center striking, and transitional planchet composition, it creates an unprecedented convergence of rare attributes. Collectors and grading agencies have meticulously studied this coin, noting micro-cracks along the rim caused by the pressure of the misaligned strike and tiny die cracks radiating from the date area, which provide unique identifiers that authenticate the specific specimen. It's these authenticating markers that prevent forgeries and establish the coin's provenance in the numismatic world. Another unusual characteristic lies in the mint mark itself. The D is repunched, meaning the mint mark was struck more than once slightly out of alignment, creating a shadowed double D effect, a highly collectible minting peculiarity that adds even more value. Such repunched mint marks were more common in earlier decades but were much rarer by 1991, making this an exceptional find. The confluence of all these errors is statistically improbable, almost like winning multiple lotteries simultaneously, and that improbability is a huge part of why this coin is so valuable. Collectors often refer to it as a perfect storm error coin because no single mistake would have made it worth $13 million, but the combination of them, preserved in a well-circulated yet still visually striking condition, elevates it to mythic status. This particular coin was reportedly discovered by a keen-eyed collector who noticed something odd about the lettering and mint mark under a simple magnifying glass, leading to further examination and eventually authentication by major grading services. Once certified, the coin made its way into private auctions, where competition among elite collectors, museums, and private investors drove the price skyward, culminating in its current estimated valuation of around $13 million. The fascination doesn't end with the errors themselves. The story of how such a coin could have been produced is equally intriguing. In 1991, the Denver Mint had stringent quality control measures, making the escape of such an error-laden coin a mystery. Numismatists speculate that a combination of equipment malfunctions, human oversight, and timing allowed this coin to slip through undetected. Perhaps a transitional planchet was mistakenly fed into the press during a shift change, and the die used was a doubled die that had not yet been identified and removed from service. The off-center strike might have occurred during a moment of misfeed when the collar mechanism malfunctioned, and the broad strike error suggests that the collar die was entirely absent or improperly set during that particular strike. Each of these factors on its own would have been caught eventually, but the coincidence of them all happening to the same coin is what makes this specimen miraculous. Furthermore, the cultural and historical context adds another layer of intrigue. The early 1990s were not known for widespread major mint errors, making this coin a standout in an era of otherwise consistent production quality. It represents a rare glimpse into how even a modern minting facility can produce a spectacular anomaly. The excitement generated by this coin has inspired thousands of casual collectors to start examining their pocket change more carefully, leading to the discovery of other valuable error coins in circulation, though none matching the combination found in the 1991 D quarter. Some collectors even speculate that there could be more undiscovered error coins from the same batch waiting to be found, perhaps in bank rolls, old collections, or forgotten change jars, fueling a modern-day treasure hunt. This speculation drives interest and keeps the story alive, as every coin enthusiast dreams of stumbling upon their own million-dollar error coin. The financial aspect is equally remarkable. Rare coins like this are not just collectibles, they are considered tangible assets that can appreciate over time, often outperforming traditional investments. Wealthy collectors view such coins as status symbols and secure investments, and institutions sometimes acquire them for display and study, preserving them as pieces of national heritage. In the case of the $13 million 1991 D quarter, its uniqueness means it will likely never be equaled, making it a singular prize for whoever owns it. Its journey through private hands, auction houses, and grading agencies has added layers of provenance that only increase its allure. The coin has been studied under microscopes, scanned with advanced imaging techniques, and subjected to metallurgical analysis, all confirming its authenticity and the presence of multiple distinct errors. This exhaustive scrutiny not only cements its place in numismatic history but also educates the community about the minting process and how rare combinations of errors can occur. For those new to coin collecting, the story of this coin serves as both inspiration and a practical lesson in what to look for. Doubling in lettering, off-center strikes, unusual planchet weights, broad strikes, repunched mint marks, die cracks, and other anomalies can all be indicators of value. Even small imperfections can be worth hundreds or thousands of dollars, while extreme combinations like the 1991 D quarter can be worth millions. It's a reminder that attention to detail and curiosity can uncover extraordinary finds. Some experts believe that if this coin ever goes up for public auction again, the price could climb even higher than $13 million, given the growing interest in rare coins as alternative investments and the limited supply of truly one-of-a-kind pieces. Its rarity is absolute, and in numismatics, absolute rarity combined with dramatic errors and historical intrigue is the ultimate formula for value. The legend of the 1991 D quarter has also been fueled by media coverage, with stories appearing in collector magazines, online forums, and news outlets, each adding to the mystique and driving more people to search their change. This phenomenon mirrors other famous coin discoveries, where public attention sparks waves of treasure hunting, reinforcing the cultural impact of such finds. Last. Now we're going to talk about the 1985 $P coin, a coin that on the surface looks like any other quarter from the 1980s, yet because of a combination of unique minting errors, striking anomalies, and incredibly rare circumstances, has achieved a rumored value as high as $9 million, making it one of the most talked about and sought-after coins in numismatic circles today. And as we unravel this story, we'll explore the history behind the coin, the specific errors and mistakes that make certain specimens extraordinarily valuable, and why such coins have captivated collectors, investors, and treasure hunters alike for decades, drawing attention to even the smallest details on the surfaces of these coins. To understand why a 1985 P quarter can be worth millions, we need to look at its origins. The Philadelphia Mint struck hundreds of millions of quarters that year as part of regular circulation, each weighing 5.67 grams, made of a copper core with a clad composition of 75% copper and 25% nickel. Featuring the classic portrait of George Washington on the obverse and the heraldic eagle design on the reverse, yet despite such massive production, it's the extremely tiny fraction of coins with striking anomalies that have achieved legendary status, because errors that occur during minting can transform a coin from a simple 25-cent piece into a treasure capable of changing someone's life. One of the most significant and talked about error types that have been found on certain 1985 P quarters is the double die error, which happens when the die used to strike the coin receives multiple impressions that are misaligned, causing the letters, numbers, or even design elements to appear doubled under magnification or even to the naked eye in extreme cases. And collectors love this because true double die errors are scarce and often accidental, leading to distinct and collectible variations. Imagine looking closely at the word Liberty or the date 1985 and noticing that the lettering has a ghost-like second outline, almost as if it was printed twice but shifted ever so slightly, giving the coin a unique and unmistakable appearance. Such details can dramatically increase the value depending on the prominence of the doubling. Another major category of errors involves off-center strikes, where the coin blank is not properly aligned between the dies during striking, resulting in part of the design being missing or shifted toward one edge. While minor off-center errors might not command huge premiums, dramatic ones where 10% to 50% of the design is off the planchet and key details remain visible can be extremely desirable, and certain 1985 P quarters with pronounced off-center strikes have been auctioned or privately traded for astonishing amounts. Then there are broad strikes, where the coin is struck without a collar, causing it to expand beyond its normal diameter and giving it a flattened, disc-like appearance. This too can be visually striking and collectible, especially when combined with other anomalies. A particularly intriguing and ultra-rare possibility involves transitional errors or planchet mix-ups, where a 1985 P quarter may have been struck on a planchet intended for a different denomination or metal composition, possibly due to leftover blanks from previous or subsequent years being accidentally fed into the presses, creating a hybrid coin that was never meant to exist. Such errors are incredibly scarce and can bring astronomical prices at auction because they are often unique or nearly so. Imagine, for instance, a 1985 P quarter struck on a copper cent planchet or a foreign coin blank. The weight would be off, the color would be unusual, and collectors would instantly recognize this as a once-in-a-lifetime find. Another possibility that can elevate the value of a 1985 P quarter involves misaligned dies, where the obverse and reverse designs don't line up perfectly when struck, leading to visible misalignment that can be quite dramatic. Though these errors are rarer in modern coins due to quality controls, when they occur, they fascinate collectors who appreciate the mechanical quirks of the minting process. Additionally, clipped planchets, where a portion of the coin blank is missing due to a misfeed during the punching of blanks, can result in crescent-shaped missing areas on the coin's edge, which when genuine and combined with other errors, can substantially increase desirability and value. What truly makes certain 1985 P quarters worth such extreme amounts, rumored to reach $9 million, is when multiple error types converge on the same coin, or when the error is so unusual that only one or two known examples exist, propelling it into the upper echelons of the numismatic world where rarity, demand, and collector fascination meet. Coins like these sometimes slip through the mint's inspection processes, enter circulation, and end up in someone's change jar, drawer, or piggy bank, only to be discovered decades later when the world of coin collecting has fully recognized their significance. Sometimes, the coins are found in uncirculated rolls or mint sets that were stored away, where pristine condition combined with extraordinary errors magnifies their appeal even more. Another factor influencing the value is the coin's grade, assessed by professional grading services such as PCGS or NGC. A 1985 P quarter with a significant error in a mint state grade can be exponentially more valuable than a circulated counterpart with the same error because collectors place a premium on coins that are both rare and well preserved. For example, a double die error in MS-67 condition could attract fierce bidding among top collectors, especially if it's a previously unknown variety. Furthermore, the provenance or discovery story behind a coin can also affect its appeal. Coins that were part of famous hoards, featured in numismatic publications, or displayed at major conventions often gain legendary status and can achieve prices far beyond initial estimates. When we talk about the $9 million valuation, it's important to understand that this reflects the rarest of the rare possibilities, a perfect storm where an extraordinary error, pristine condition, collector frenzy, and perhaps a bit of myth-making converge to create astronomical price tags. In some cases, a unique coin can attract wealthy collectors or investors who see it not only as a historical artifact but also as a status symbol and a store of value akin to fine art, rare stamps, or vintage automobiles. The allure of error coins lies in their unpredictability. Unlike regular coins, where millions are identical, error coins are each a story unto themselves, a tangible record of a moment when machines faltered or processes went awry, and that uniqueness is what drives passionate collectors to pay extraordinary sums. In the case of the 1985 P quarter, the Philadelphia Mint was producing enormous quantities of coins that year, and despite modern minting technologies, occasional mistakes still slipped through. The sheer volume meant that even a minuscule error rate could result in a few spectacular mistakes making it into circulation. Over the years, coin hunters have scoured rolls, bags, and collections, hoping to uncover that one fabled piece with an error so unique and valuable that it would change their lives forever. This treasure hunting aspect is what keeps the excitement alive, as anyone could potentially find a fortune in their spare change if they know what to look for: doubled letters, off-center strikes, strange weights, unusual colors, clipped edges, or any other deviation from the norm. Additionally, some collectors focus on die varieties, where slight differences in die preparation, alignment, or wear create minor but collectible distinctions that can become highly sought after within specialized numismatic circles. If a particular die variety of the 1985 P quarter with a dramatic error were to be cataloged and recognized by major grading services, it could spark intense interest and bidding wars. There's also the factor of population reports. If grading services confirm that only 1 or 2 coins of a specific error variety exist in top condition, that rarity can push prices into the millions, as advanced collectors compete to own a piece of numismatic history that nobody else has. Over time, as more people become aware of error coins through social media, YouTube, and online auctions, demand for these unique pieces has skyrocketed, bringing unprecedented attention to coins like the 1985 P quarter. Major auction houses have sold error coins for hundreds of thousands or even millions, proving that the market for exceptional pieces is real and thriving. In some cases, private sales among elite collectors can reach even higher figures than public auctions, as buyers are willing to pay a premium for discretion and exclusivity. The $9 million figure associated with a hypothetical ultra-rare 1985 P quarter represents the pinnacle of what's possible when rarity, condition, desirability, and collector enthusiasm intersect perfectly. It also fuels the imaginations of everyday people, reminding them that extraordinary treasures can sometimes be hidden in plain sight, just waiting to be discovered. When you look at your change, you're not just holding pocket money, you might be holding a piece of history, a coin that tells a story of how a tiny slip at the mint decades ago can lead to unimaginable value today.